Hello my friends, welcome back to a new video. I'm Stephanie West. I'm a licensed counselor here in the state of Michigan, and I am owner and operator of In Progress Counseling. Today we're going to wonder about how boredom and self-discovery can hold hands with one another. Self-knowledge, self-discovery, those are really important cornerstones for health and for wellness. The more I know myself, the more I'm able to put coherence into my understanding of self, the more I'm able to communicate that, the more I'm able to invite people into that, the more I understand who I am and how I function and what the ideals are and what things I need to avoid and what limits I need to set and what preferences I have, the more I can rest in kind of experiential knowing about myself, and I can invite people towards it. One of the ways we can gain self-understanding and self-knowledge, I kind of blended my words together there, self-understanding and self-knowledge, is to let ourselves be bored. And when we're bored, a lot of things might happen. A lot of things could take over. For some people, boredom is the linchpin or the launching point for creativity. And if I let myself be bored long enough, I might discover things that I'm actually compelled by, things that I lean in towards, things that interest me. If I allow myself to be bored, I might also notice some of the parts of myself that are untidy and unkempt. I might notice my thoughts wander in directions that aren't helpful, maybe even towards self-deprecation or self-doubt. Maybe I'm not good at being alone with myself yet, and I might need sensations and stimulations, or I might not be comfortable enough to be by myself, and so then I use things that numb or soothe, things that bring me out of the present. Boredom is a beautiful piece of insight. It helps us glimpse where we're at socially, where we're at emotionally, where we're at recreationally, where we're at spiritually. There's a lot of ways to understand self better through boredom, or even through quiet, through silence. And so that's one of the questions we're going to ask today. What do you suppose you would do if you were bored? What do you understand about yourself when you don't have a perpetual task list in front of you, or when you don't have constant stimulation in front of you, or when you're not being entertained, when you're not being social? What do you know about yourself? And then the question is, do you like that particular version of yourself? When you notice how you respond to boredom or how you respond to silence or quiet, do you like the strategies that you use? What's so neat about that question is if we actually allowed ourselves to be bored, it's really hard to know what sort of creativity is on the other side of that. But we only get there if we tolerate and allow boredom. Think of a child who is getting kicked out of the house, hey, go play for the day. And their boredom propels them towards imagination, towards creativity. And boredom can be a destructive force for those who haven't learned how to harness it in a direction that's generative or helpful or restorative or practical. And so boredom, it can tell us a lot about ourselves. Our response to boredom can give us great insights into where we're at and our kind of socially, emotional, spiritual wellness. And if we don't like how we respond, like we have that pervasive sense of like, don't leave me alone with me, that's not a good solution. That actually gives us some growth work that we can be engaging, because learning to practice being okay in boredom, when we're understimulated, in things that are more calm, a lot of times that is not just practicable behavior, but it orients us towards more healthful behavior. It allows things like rest and restoration. It even allows potentially things like Sabbath, where I can take a whole day or a series of days and detach myself from stimulation or from incessantly needing something to do. Boredom is the birthplace of many cool things, but if we don't allow ourselves to be bored, rarely can we figure out what's on the other end of that. If we're afraid to be alone, or if we're afraid to not have something to do, we can start to ask ourselves why, and then even use curiosity to say, I wonder what would happen if I learned to lean towards boredom. I wonder what's on the other side of boredom. I wonder what spaces I might find myself wandering into that are maybe healthful, helpful, generative, creative. That might be pretty exciting. But if we don't allow boredom to show up, it's really hard for us to even conceptualize what's on the other side of that. So that's our question today. Are you letting yourself ever get to the place of boredom? And if not, why not? Is there something that's scary? Is there something uncertain? Is there something unpleasant about being bored? Do you just have a a resistance to it because being busy is better? I'm not sure. Ask yourself some questions about it. The other side of boredom can be a place of flourishing, of creativity, of new discovery about ourselves. But if we don't let ourselves get there, perhaps we're not yet quite understanding just how incredible a launching point boredom can be in our stories.